tuning in to the Preference Panel tonight at the Shade, the Cigar Lounge located in Dallas, Texas, off of Camp Wisdom. My name is Journey, and I'm your host for tonight. Tonight's topic is, are you truly happy? Okay. So have you ever been laying in bed, riding in the car, or with a group of friends, and you thought to yourself, am I happy? That's what the topic is tonight. We're going to talk about relationships, financial, careers, children, family, everything, to see what it takes for us to be internally happy. Okay? And so I have two guests tonight, and I'll let them speak for themselves. We have Mrs. Shaquina Smith. And tell us about yourself, Ms. Shaquina Smith.
Hi, I am Shaquina Smith, and I am currently in the field of psychology and addiction. My passion is to help others. It's a need for it, and typically going to work every day and you come home and you feel like that something is missing. The passion to drive you to get up the next day to do it all over again. The passion comes from compassion with helping others. So I end up getting in the psychology and addiction field, science, psychology, and addiction, because I wanted to help. I saw the stigma of us trying to do it on our own and not even wanting to talk about it, and that's why I am here today.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
We have Miss Melody Young. Please tell us about yourself.
I am a 5-year truck driver, multitask, hardworking person. I have a book and a play that I wrote myself. The play, I'm playing my own role, and the book is called The Other Woman Wasn't Worth It.
Well, thank you for coming. So tonight, like I said, the question is going to be, are you truly happy? So my question is, did you ever have some self-doubt or some guilt, or that you questioned your judgment, poor judgment, in order to, that you wasn't fulfilled? You didn't know you knew what you wanted to do, but you questioned yourself, but you have the capability of doing it. Have you ever experienced that?
Absolutely, Sabrina. I think going through life, we have what you call growth, and I believe that it's test and trial, trial and error. We see it a lot, and it's normal to make mistakes. Sometimes you sit back and say, it got to be a better way. And we struggle. We all sometimes struggle. If you are a single mother, even if you are a married couple, there are times that you're going to struggle, but you have to realize that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for someone to help you so you can get a break. We don't ask for help, and therefore people can't assume that is exactly what we need unless you ask. And I know a lot of African American men, they want to internalize their issues and situations, whether it's for paying for their house note, their bills. They'll internalize it before they speak to anybody else about needing help. So I've been there, done that, was a single mother of 2 daughters, and I said at one point, I was at the plateau in my career that I was in, just going to work, making ends meet, and it still wasn't enough. It's almost never enough. It's never enough. So I had to come to the place, what do I need to be doing? How would I be satisfied with myself?
So you had that question of, am I truly happy?
Am I truly happy? And the answer was, at that point in time, was no. But I had to be honest and answer my own question.
And also, just to double back on a few things that you were stating on, it can also be a pride thing.
Yes.
It was a pride thing with me. And it had to take one of my pastors at First Baptist Church on Hamilton Park, Pastor Foster, say, Melody, since you've been here, I've noticed you. I study you. but you have a pride of asking for help. And some of us do. And a lot of times when we be in those kind of stages, as you being a counselor, and God, I'm thankful for your degree, sister, we set ourselves back in traumatizing stages by not asking for help. Because we as black people, we don't understand. We've been through a lot. Our ancestors, our grandparents, it goes all the way back. And one thing I learned about that, you can never not be too proud to ask for help, especially when you got help out there.
Thank you, ladies. And I remember a scripture saying, pride comes before a fall.
Yes.
Isn't that what he said?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we have to know, first of all, what are we prideful for? And sometimes it's false pride. Sometimes we don't even have a reason to be prideful, but we prideful.
Right.
So I'm going to say this. I was speaking on poor judgment, fear, in those situations that we all go through, especially trying to be entrepreneurs, being parents, as you said, especially if you're a single parent, whether it's you're in a relationship and how's your role going as far as within your marriage. What if you're single and you're questioning yourself, do I deserve to be married? Sometimes we have to ask all ourselves, but I think the same spirit that goes between all of that is trust and lack of it. What do you think?
Absolutely. A lot of us don't trust ourselves.
Right.
So we could absolutely trust no one else.
Right.
The work starts from within, from the inside out. So happiness is nowhere to be found. If you're literally looking for it on the outside, it's nowhere to be found. But first you have to find joy on the inside. And as that exceeds on the outside, you will develop the happiness to be content in the state you're in. I may not have all the money that I need. I may not have the car that I want to drive, but I am alive. I'm well, and the joy from the inside comes on the outside, and I'm content with whatever state that I'm in. So I am happy. And happiness is a state of being. You can't find it nowhere. You can't find it in a husband. You can't find it in a home girl, a house, not even your children. And we hate to say that. We know we want our kids to end all, be all. But a lot of times we sit back and say, whoa, we take their burdens up on us. And not only are we dealing with burdens ourselves, taking and it produces stress and emptiness. And you go home alone, the kids going about their business with their relationships, they're happy, and mom or dad is by themselves. Now what? You have to you say, okay, I'm going to find something to do. I'm going to get into recreation. I may go golfing. But still when you come home, what's missing? You can't truly be happy in a marriage until you make yourself happy.
And you know what? That's true. Self do come first. And then before self, when you come home, a lot of things that helped me at night when I was doing those single nights and crying and being like, okay, Lord, what can I do then? That's the man right there. Sometimes I'm not trying to go all spiritual, but sometimes it is spiritual. We have to forget to connect with the Bible. There are scriptures in the Bible for every single thing. And if we lean on him, that's where all our strength and our covering will come from.
Can I say something about that, Sabrina? I was talking to her the other day that my father was a pastor for 25 years. And I was counseling in our church and counseling people, and we truly believe in the Spirit, but was lacking basic necessities to survive. Simple things as, when it comes to mental health, as breathing. When you come home and you're in traffic and you got anxiety, you're racing, you want to get out of traffic, simple things as putting your hand over your heart to calm yourself down. Simple practices. And how can you pray with anxiety? You're not going to pray and leave it there. You're going to pray and worry and pick it back up. And if God said if you trusted him, you would pray and leave it there. But if someone is suffering from anxiety and depression, their mind is racing 100%, we need to settle your mind first. So you will know how to pray, when to pray, what to pray for, and then what? Leave it there.
That's right. So the next question will be, have you ever beat yourself down mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and even financially before you even got started? Have you ever experienced that?
I'm going to let her answer first.
So as I'm gonna say, as an entrepreneur, so if you got a business you want to start, and it's a grandiose business, right? Everybody, okay? And before you even get started with the first process of finding out what you want to name your business, you didn't already beat yourself up. If I don't know, what if I fail? What if this, and this? I've been through that personally myself, and then you've already put yourself in a state of failure before you have even made that first step. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes, I have. I have. I experienced it so hard to where it went into a nervous of a breakdown for me, you know. And when I mean a breakdown, it's like, just like she said, depression. You're not ready to pray. You're not ready to pick up the Bible. And at one point in time, I did suffer from depression because of all the trauma and the things that I was exposed to, that I never was felt like I was going to be induced to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I never expected to have certain terms in my life to turn out the way that they did because of my lacking of choices. So yeah, I had that. But then therapy is very great. It's not a bad thing. And that's when I go back to pride. It's not a bad thing to ask for help, because I had to swallow that, and I had to overcome that heel. And then after I overcame that heel, I came back to learning how to pray, because I came from the church. So I couldn't forget my roots and where I came from.
You want to talk about failure? Where do I start?
At the beginning, honey, at the beginning.
Talking about failure, we can talk about a divorce.
Right. That's right.
That was me. I had a business, a salon, and it didn't work out. And my body literally broke down on me, trying to work, going through the divorce, and trying to have a salon. My body said, okay, you tell me when you're done. And they literally tried to tell me that I had lupus from worrying. A lot of our underlying conditions triggers from worry, from stress. We heard it's the silent killer. I don't care how old you are. And she talked about that a few moments ago about trauma. We haven't dealt with things in our childhood. And we wonder why things come up when we're raising our children, how we treat our children, how we discipline them, because that may be how we were disciplined. If we cursed our children out, that may be how you were cursed out. You don't know it's a trauma until someone digs deep and peels the layers off and say, that's where it is. That's where it happened. And a lot of times as they're peeling the layers off, the therapists or the counselors, they're not there to do your work for you.
No, they're going to need homework to do.
You're there to do your own work. And a lot of the questions you have to answer for yourself. They're there to support you. So the trauma comes in. When we look at trauma, we see the trauma. I didn't know that was holding me back.
And even death of a loved one, like you mentioned, divorce, or even ungrateful children. How many of us have grown children at this time who have ungrateful children at this time that still want from us, still pulling from us, and now have given us grandchildren? So now it's not even about the kids anymore, it's about the grandchildren that we have to step in the cracks for. I'm going to tell you personally, I suffer from alopecia because of stress. And my hair is long, and I know, I like my wig and everything, but I'm trying to tell you, my hair is long, but I started suffering from bald spots because of stress. When I went to the dermatologist, she said, baby, it's reversible, but you got to get you together. You got to stop stressing. You got to get your vitamin intake. You have to do this and that. And that shook me. Because at 42 years old, I had never experienced that before. And so now it's going back and it's healthy because I learned acceptance. I learned that I cannot be in control of grown people. I can only be in control of what I'm in the present. First of all, I have to live in the present. I can't live in the past. I can't live for the future. I can set goals for the future, but I can't live in the future. So at the present time, what do I have control over and what I don't have control over? Guess what? I'm going to pray about it and leave it there. That's all I can do. Oh, that's all you She said that's all you can do. So when you was going through your breakthrough, Melody, like you said, how did you know you was going through that breakthrough? Because some people don't even know that they're going through a breakthrough at that time. They're just going through the motions, but they don't know. What was your experience?
In my past, I'm actually going to be divorced twice. And losing my mother at a 12-year-old age, that traumatized me. A doctor accidentally killed my mother. So that traumatized me. So I end up noticing my change in behavior. And what I mean by change in behavior, how sometimes I would come off of a pattern of just being so like alone, not wanting to just really just talk, not wanting to really just share, to basically pushing away. You can push away someone that loves you the most, and you're not even aware of your own actions and your behavior, and not knowing that where they coming from, it's okay to accept constructive criticism. Because sometimes that comes from a good place. That comes from love. Especially when you know a person loves you. They're not supposed to always just side with you. They are there to tell you the truth and see you through. And want to see you nothing but great. So if you don't have that kind of connection, then no, you're not going to open up. But yeah, my behavior was changing. Sometimes I want to be with family and friends. And a lot of time I will be distant. And when you distance yourself, it doesn't help.
No.
When you shelter yourself inside and think, okay, well, I don't want to go out because I don't know if Rhonda going to tell this or Tamika going to tell that. No, but if you know Rhonda and Tamika love you and they're giving you structured criticism from a different place, from where they love you, and they've been riding with you all that way. Quick example before I pass the mic. I look at my niece. My niece, and then I have other girlfriends, have rode with me through thick, thin, jump, loops, it all. Jack of all trades. And when I say she'll let me know or they'll let me know, Mel, that's not it. That's not right. You gotta snap back. That's not you. Them knowing the heart that I have and the person that I am, when they correct me, I don't mind it. And you gotta be able to accept all that to fix while you're trying to fix you. Because that's what like when you're going through trauma, that's accepting it. That's stepping over, this stone and, and graduating to another level when you can talk about it. Because trauma, you're supposed to be able to talk about it, just like abuse.
Right. That was my next question was, when did you learn to accept? Because I'm going to give you an example. My daughter ran away at 17. And, everybody around me was like, oh, Sabrina, what did you do? It wasn't nothing about me. It was because she wanted her own journey. And she had to find herself. And, I went through calling the police and trying to make all these reports and everything. But it really took me accepting the fact that this is her own individual life. I did my part. I kept her safe. I raised her, fed her, gave her guidance and all that. But this is her choice. When I accepted that for me, that freed me up. That unloaded all kind of burden, and I was able to say, you know what? I'm okay. She's going to be okay because she's going to remember all the things I taught her and instilled in her, but I'm going to be okay because guess what? I had to learn to lose control. And I had control of my 3 kids all the time. My 18-year-old had moved on. I accepted that. He was 18, but my 17-year-old doing it the way she did really threw me for a loop, but it was still about accepting. So, what did you have to learn to accept?
You must first know the signs.
Yeah.
It's easier, you can hear the doctor say, these are the signs that you're having a heart attack.
Right.
Right?
Right.
These are the signs that you are having a stroke.
Right.
So why couldn't there be signs that you're having a mental breakdown? The mind is the motherboard of everything, and it controls your very being.
Yeah.
So if your mind is out of whack,
Yeah. Everything about
nothing else can function to the fullest. It's the motherboard.
Yeah.
If you have a computer, you have a keyboard, you have a speaker, you have a mouse. The mouse can't work on its own. The keyboard don't work by itself. It must be connected to the motherboard, and the motherboard actually determines how we're going to function today. So what happens is we don't know the signs. It's simple things. Now, I'm not talking about if you're having a mental illness and you chemical imbalance. We know you need to see a doctor. But there's little things that you can derive and you can come to know, am I sad more than I am happy? How many times this week I did not want to go outside and just see the sun?
That's right. Or take a bath, or get dressed, or fix something to eat, or talk on the phone and get that, that connection with people. I isolated myself. What is wrong?
What is wrong? Absolutely. Know the signs. When you know the signs, you can say, hey, find you one person that you can be accountable and that you can yield yourself to, and they won't judge you.
That's right.
And when you find that person that won't judge you, let it go. I don't care what you say to them. They need to be there. If you say, man, I want to leave my family. Someone needs to be free to say that. Because if they think it too long, they're going to do it anyway.
Because what we think is who we are.
As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time. Know the signs. Why am I feeling like this? I'm under too much stress. That means it's time for you to go take a vacation.
That's right. And sometimes the vacation is from everybody else.
From everybody.
And we have to learn structure within ourselves that it's okay to say no. Did y'all ever have to learn that? It's
Absolutely.
okay to tell your kids no. To tell your friends no. To tell your boss no. To tell your husband no. Your wife no. Because that no means I need it for myself.
Right.
I need me time. And if they don't respect that, if they don't love that, then you need to get away from them.
It's almost like if they can't respect your boundary of
That's
space,
right.
or respect the decision that you're making this choice by saying no. So if I'm telling you no, then it means I'm in another state of mind. And it doesn't have anything intentionally to do with you. It's all within me.
That's right.
So if I'm already saying no to you, then as my friend, my husband, my partner, my lover, my niece, my kids, whatever, you're going to be like, okay, she needs that space. And that's what some people can, your close loved ones can, once they study you and know you, like my niece, bring it back to her. When she know I'm in my space, she'll just walk off.
So how did you see your mental illness or your personal situation affecting your children or your relationships or your job or whatever? How did you start saying, well, wait a minute, something's going on?
I call it mental maintenance. There may not be an illness at that point, but there should be a checking point all the time. Every week you should be able to check on yourself.
Yeah.
And you said it so profoundly, getting back your power to say no, because I was a yes man.
Aren't we all?
whatever
So we all
my
were
family
yes.
wanted me to do.
Yeah.
Up to about 4 or 5 years ago, I was a yes man. And I truly gained my power back by saying no. And it felt so good. Because why? I don't feel like it.
That's right. And you don't owe anybody any explanation. What God said, let your yes mean yes, and your no mean no. Period. That's my favorite word. Facts and period. So, did you have any regret? Did you feel guilty at first when you started saying no? Because some people that are like, we've kind of elevated past that part, but for people that are just starting, it's hard to tell their kids no. That's all they know. And they feel, some people have regrets for their parenting skills, the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Yeah, the woulda, shoulda, coulda. So, with that being said, they give their kids all, and then they feel depleted. So, getting to the point where they can tell their kids no is major.
Yeah.
Did you feel regret when you first started saying no?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I had the right to.
Yeah.
Didn't have the right to say no.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't you?
Yeah.
Not because if there was a reason, but there don't always have to be a reason.
Right.
So I wouldn't feel guilty if there was a reason, but if there wasn't a reason, I would feel guilty sometimes with saying no. Now, it feels good. And now they even understand. I know she, let me ask first.
Right, because they know your boundaries. They
Right,
know
right.
your space.
Absolutely.
And especially being a GG, I'm a GG. So, my son, first of all, I took on the responsibility of my grandchild. So, even though the mom and the dad, they're doing their part, but as grandparents and all that, we want to say, we got him. Here, bring him over here, we got him. You know what I'm saying? But then that started being my responsibility to the point that you want to be able to say yes and no what he do, but you want me to take care of him. No. So now we're at the point where, Mama, I have this to go do. Are you busy? Do you mind watching him? Because now I've set the standard of, hey, I got my own life. I have my own life. So, and then all of our children need to know that as young adults. I mean, our younger kids, we got to do what we got to do. Right. But our older kids, they do play a part in how our relationships are, whether we're married, whether we're single, whatever. They do play a part, but we have to put them compartmentalized in their right place.
Right.
You're adults now.
Right.
Do what you need to do.
Right.
If you honestly evaluated your life today and ask yourself, are you truly happy? What is your answer?
If I evaluated my life today, I will absolutely say I am truly happy. I'm content in the state I'm in.
Right.
Although I want more, I don't have to have it.
Thanks.
It's something that I would desire, but I can say, honestly, financially, spiritually, physically, completely happy at this point in my life. And I could truly say I've never experienced it before.
And I'm content. I'm happy that I'm here for my 21-year-old and for my family, but I know there's more I want to do. There's more that I believe my purpose have a little more journey on for a level of certain things in my life that I need to go ahead and become and elevate myself to. So yes, I'm content. I have grew. I grew on so many occasions. For as just me growing from a woman to a lady. And that's a big difference.
It is a huge difference.
That's a huge difference.
From a boy to a man.
Exactly. So when I say that I have grew and elevated myself, and I challenge myself at times, I learned these little charts things, and I was staying with my niece, and I see her do. And I started saying, well, let me try that. And now that I do it, it works for me too. It may not work for everybody, but it actually helps me graduate to, okay, I see myself here next year. I want to elevate myself on this level by this frame of time. So yeah, I'm actually happy in the place I am, and I'm happy that I went through the therapy I went through. Because without that, the praying and close family and friends and just having loved ones, I think I would have had a major setback and I wouldn't have been able to fully recover without that support. You gotta have a support system. You gotta, even if it comes down to one person, you gotta have a support system. And that's one support system, even if it's just 1, 2, or 3, that support system can take you a long way, a journey.
I applaud you. Awesome job. Awesome job. You've been through a lot, just you telling, and I know there's so much more that you could tell, but just that little bit, proud of you.
It's a process. Yeah. And you're going through the process. And that's what the next question was, is what was the process? Like, when did you realize, okay, I need help, I have support around me. How did you build up the strength to say, let me accept that support? What was the turning point?
When I had to look at me and say, Mel, do you really want to be this person? I couldn't let my first marriage, then after that, separating from him, my 20-year relationship with someone, I didn't even give myself time to breathe. Then after that, I immediately went into another situation and then a marriage. I wasn't ready for all that. There's sometimes as we as women, it's okay to go to bed alone and wake up alone. Because we might need to find ourselves and our whole work all over again. We might need to find, okay, what on this path do I need to take because this other path didn't work for me. It didn't grow me. It traumatized me. It changed my behavior. It ran away maybe some good friends that I should still have today. So on this path, I have to find me some me time. And when you get you some me time, and like she keeps saying, self. When you go back into self and know all your elevations for you as a person, there's no way you can't accomplish it. There's no way that you won't even be afraid to even be alone. Because we don't always have to jump out into things or relationship or in a marriage just because we're trying to find happiness. Find happiness within yourself.
Absolutely. In the last show, I was talking about how I was celibate for 5 years. And that celibacy gave me time to get my relationship with God and to really strengthen with Him. But as I talked about before, it made me stronger spiritually, but it made me weaker physically. You know what I'm saying? So after my trial and tribulation with that scenario afterwards,
It's all right.
I'm at the point now where I can say, it's okay to be alone, I'm not lonely.
Exactly.
And that's the difference. And
That's
now I
it.
understand when older women say, baby, I got Jesus. Baby, I got God. I'm good. And that's because they're in tune with their body for one. So they're not living in the flesh. They're living in the spirit, because we have to realize we are just spiritual beings living in a physical world. And once we get in tune with our spiritual self, then we can make the moves we need to make to be internally happy.
Right. And the saying goes, to thine own self, be true.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself,
Yeah.
knowing what you need. Become happy from within. Find that joy, unspeakable, full of glory. It will produce happiness. Not from anyone, but from yourself. Just to wake up. And I got to that point when I saw, what else do I need to be doing? Because if you can't pour into others, that still leaves a void or emptiness. I had to get to the place to, after the failure of the salon, what do you want me to do now? I'm not making enough money. What do you want me to do? And I clearly heard within my spirit, go to school. What? I don't need that. I know how to count money.
No.
You know?
It's a whole different walk.
But doing this, going back to school, I'm 44 years old, going back to school, I literally was able to open a Pandora box. The world is bigger than what we see it as. And knowing that it's a problem with African Americans and our mental health. We don't talk about it. And the stigma is, we all know it, if you go see somebody, you crazy. You're not crazy. You are strong. You are powerful for even saying, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to help me navigate through this situation, navigate through this circumstance so I can be a better me, for me.
This is no different from NA and AA. If it's okay for you to stand up before a group of people and say, I'm an alcoholic or I'm a drug addict, why can't you stand up and say, I need some help. My mental is not right.
Absolutely.
Some things ain't adding up right now. I need help. And it shouldn't be shame, because the first thing they want to do, they want to tell you, pray. Now, we are supposed to pray, but what did God say? Faith without works is dead. Look, I didn't put the doctors out there for you. I didn't put the counseling out there for you. Go put in the work. Yep. And I'm going to help you endure. That's what he said.
Absolutely.
That's enough. So, for my audience out there in Facebook world and out here at the Attaché, like I said, located here in Dallas, Texas, I have a question such as, if you're not happy with your job, if you're not happy right now with your job, are you willing to start your own business? Are you willing to say, you know what, I'm my own boss. I didn't put in my 60 hours, 70 hours a week for this person to make them rich, but what will make me happy is I found my purpose. Because first of all, you got to find your purpose in life. And then when you find your purpose, you go that way. You start creating that path ahead of you. Yeah. Are you ready for that? Is people really ready for that?
Can you come up here? No, they're right there.
How y'all doing?
Hello.
I just wanted to just kind of say that I think that honestly,
Your voice
I think honestly, happiness comes from within, like you said, but it also comes from self-perception of you, how you view yourself, and that's more of a spiritual thing, like you guys were saying. You're not your mistakes. You're not what they said you are.
That's right.
He said you are.
That's
When you
right.
live in that, and you act in that, and you think in that, the rest is fine.
Thank you. Our belief system is the strongest, most powerful compass in our life. And I don't know if y'all understand that. Our belief system, how we believe, what we believe about ourselves, what our childhood made us feel about ourselves, what our parents told us about ourselves growing up. Oh, you bad, oh, he bad. Well, guess what? Don't be surprised when he act bad.
Because you done told them all.
Because you done told him all his
You done
life he
spoken
bad.
into existence.
Or if he's amazing, like I call my grandson Mr. Amazing, right? So all he knows is Mr. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So to him, everything he do is Mr. Amazing. I gotta tell him about that. No, you broke the glass, it wasn't amazing. But still, your belief system is your compass in life. And it's gonna take you to your husband, your wife, your children, what you put into your children, your career path. If you think you're not nothing, you're not gonna ever get anything. What you put out there is what you're gonna get back. And I truly believe that. And sometimes we have to readjust our crown as queens and kings. Oh yeah. It's as long as you're alive, you can readjust your crown and you can reinvent yourself. Right. It's not a stopping point until you're in the ground. Right. And if you're listening to this, you're in the ground, so guess what? Today is a new day. Reinvent yourself today. Regroup. Okay.
You said it all full right there.
So another question. Are you willing to start a healthier health regimen? Meaning eating healthier, exercising, having peaceful meditation in the morning, filling your inner cup. Have y'all ever had to go through that where you have to fill your inner cup because otherwise you deplete it if you don't fill it up? What have you had to fill up your inner cup with?
Like, I don't, because I play sports so much, I'm the worst person to exercise now. And my niece, she got me on this no meat diet.
Yeah.
but it's for help. And I know where she's going because I'm 46 and I'm pre-diabetic. So I know where she's going with this. It's like, okay, that's you. You know, don't want to live forever and just, you know, feel good, breathe good, you know, be able to go up and down the stairs without breathing hard and all that stuff and having a long life. That's what she tell me in her mama's time. Okay, well, she don't want to be a granny too much, so that's not her. But she's a big disciplinarian when it comes to eating healthy and exercising. And that's what a lot of us, we felt lacking of when us women, we get later in our 40s and stuff. We start wanting to eat everything and not knowing where our grandparents or parents came from. We know diabetes is in everybody's family, you know. And we gotta learn how to just take charge of taking care of ourselves. And it's not bad to actually be on a diet. It's not bad to change up, just like changing up your habits of bad things that you be around or you do around and people you do. Why not change up the food?
That's right.
Right, and I believe that it's check and balance completely.
Yeah.
Mind, body, soul, spirit. You have to check it all the time. Check your mind, how you're thinking. You have to check it. Are you going to think on good things? Think of a good and whatsoever is good, loving, just. You have to think on those things because so much is going on with this pandemic. Can bring us to the point, even in isolation, to feel by ourselves and we don't know why. We watch it on the television. We watch it on TV. So every day for me is a check and balance. How am I feeling today? No, you should not eat this today. You need to eat lighter today. Check and balance all the time. Is my spirit man healthy? Is it longing for something? And trust me, spirituality is not just going to church. It has nothing to do with that. Your spirituality, what you said, was talking about, maybe I need to meditate to release those things in my mind that I'm thinking, because I'm not thinking right today. I'm not thinking right today. So being in touch with your spirituality, some people call it raise your vibration. Do what you got to do to be the better person that you could be. But it starts with you. So it's check and balance with me all the time. I can tell when I wake up in the morning about 10 a.m. if I'm going to have a good or bad day. I have to say, oh, check yourself. You got an attitude. Check yourself. Check yourself. Look at you. You got to go outside. You need to walk today. And it should be consistent. Mind, body, soul, spirit. Let me check myself. Even if you want to get a regimen, say this week, I'm going to focus on my mind. Nothing but my mind, putting good things in it. I don't want to watch nothing negative. I don't want to listen to nothing negative. I don't want to hear nothing negative. Completely today, fast your mind. Fast your mind from everything. The next week it may be spirituality. I may need to read a book. I may need to focus on meditation. I may need to pray. I may need to, just talk to someone about my spirituality. Your body, go girl, you know you need to get up. You know you got aches in your body. You know you got pain in your body. And not only that, when it says soul, understand me, your soul is the emotional intellect of you. It don't have nothing to do with your mind. Your mind will tell the body to do. It will tell, if your mind told you to cry, you can start crying right now. We heard the song by Ace Town, emotions make you cry sometimes, sad sometimes, glad sometimes, and most of all, make you fall in love. Right? So your emotion, the emotional part of you, you got to check that. It's called emotional intelligence. And it takes practice.
It takes work.
When you need to shut up and instead of saying something. It takes a check and balance. I don't need to say this right here. Don't say a word. So it's all the time for me, check and balance. When you get older, you know better, you do better, you act better, you move better, and you look better.
Baby, they say we don't crash. We done learned along the way.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So we talked about eating healthier, we talked about exercise, we talked about the meditation. We do need to do those things. Starting out your morning before your phone gets to ringing, cut your phone off, in fact. Cut your phone off. Do you, because that set the tone for the rest of your day. once you feel that inner cup with yourself spiritually, physically, emotionally, once you have your inner cup filled, guess what? Then you can tell your children, I love you, and the nourishment behind that is really there because your inner cup is full.
Right.
You can go help your friend because guess what? Hey, girl, I got you. Because you're full inside. I've learned that.
Yes.
I've had to learn that because I was giving pieces of paper cups out of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was depleted.
Right.
Baby, I didn't have nothing. And was still trying to give.
Absolutely.
And my hair was falling out. So that's why I said I had to get it together. Now you good? Okay. So filling your cup spiritually. Okay? So read your Bible scripture or whatever you read in order to uplift you, whatever friends you talk to. If your circle of friends are not the type of friends that are boosting you up or gassing you up on some truth, like, girl, you're looking good, I see you working out. If your circle of friends is not uplifting you, create a new circle of friends. You have control over your path, your destiny, and your circle. Would you agree?
I agree.
Absolutely.
I had to learn that again, even though I knew that, it took somebody to tell me, Sabrina, if you're not happy with your circle of friends, change it.
Right.
Or I don't want to hear nothing else about it. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
It's almost like going down the road like I do now, because I'm 46 now, and I say I don't have friends, I have family.
Yeah, family, yeah.
And I constantly stand by that. I've been standing by that for a long time. I have potential associates that I hear and go, and they're the club associates.
Yeah.
But I have family. I don't have friends. And I like that boundary I'm on. 'Cause that's a good path, because it completes me, and it don't let nobody in with all that negativity, with all that extra dramatic drama, or been there and done that. Like I say, when you start going into your later ladyhood and your ages, and going into your 40s and stuff, you get wiser.
Yeah.
You grow.
Should.
And yeah, you should. And there's some that don't, that say they still grown and they be on their 48 and 47 and can be childish as hell. But at the same time, you gotta, you just gotta have your elevation of what you will deal with, what you will tolerate, and what you won't.
Right, absolutely. And also, because you forgive somebody, don't mean you got to hang around them.
Exactly.
I forgive you.
It also don't mean because you forgive them, that does not require their behavior to change.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Don't expect nothing out of them.
Right.
You forgiving them is for you.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
You're blessed.
To free yourself.
Don't even wait on the response, because if you're waiting on a response, you did it for the wrong reason.
Exactly.
So don't even allow, or don't even worry about what they say back. You ain't got to hang around them. You ain't got to call them. You don't have to never see them again. But that releases you to move on and not go back to that friendship or situation.
Forgiveness can't be conditional.
Yeah. What you say?
Forgiveness cannot be conditional.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I just wanted him to say that one more time.
He said forgiveness cannot be conditional. It has to be unconditional.
Yes.
However, I can forgive somebody and not ever fool with you again, and it doesn't mean that I haven't forgiven you. It just means that I moved on from you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm okay with that, and I'm happy with that.
And I'm not gonna let you back in my space like that again.
So
To disturb it.
yes.
Disturb your peace.
I was talking to someone earlier, and they were telling me how, they're supportive of the relationship, the marriage they're in or whatever, and what they got going on, but they don't have time for themselves. And they put themselves on the back burner. So my question is, do you find yourself as women, or I know men do it too, but especially women, we get into, relationships, we start having kids and all that, and we don't fulfill our own goals in life because we put everybody else before us.
Or that man.
What do you think?
Or you're asking the audience?
I'm asking you. I'm asking anybody.
If you get to a point to where you feel like you're giving out more
Then you're putting in for yourself.
than you're putting in for yourself, it's a matter of communication. It's simple. Matter of communication and talking about it. Communication
Is the key.
is the key.
Open, honest communication.
Open, honest.
Yeah, because we can communicate all day long.
And
But if it's not
communicating.
open, and if it's not honest, and if there's no understanding, then it's just words being said.
And communicating at the right time. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it for someone to receive it.
And then actions behind your words. Actions go a long way. You can talk. The tongue is in the Bible. You can talk a good game all day long. You can have a conversation of the nation. But until your actions add up to it, then you'll know.
Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to say, I think that any capacity of a relationship, right, it all depends on three things for me. I think that you can't continue to, like a bank account, you can't continue to make withdrawals and have deposit into the relationship and wonder why the relationship's bankrupt. You have to continue to put it in. Ooh. Okay. Y'all hear what I said?
Yes.
You can repeat it though.
Now you repeat it. She put it
That was good. You can say it
in a good
again.
spot.
Okay.
One more time.
All I'm saying is,
Yeah, there you go.
relationships are like bank accounts. You
Yeah.
can't make withdrawals and never make deposits and try to figure out why the friendship, relationship, family ship, whichever ship you own, is depleted.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
Good information.
Oh, shit.
If you could turn back the hands of time,
Woo! How do you finna say
what
that?
would you tell the little girl or the little boy inside of you?
Don't have a kid. Y'all hear me?
No, you gotta come on up.
I would have, even though losing my mom at 12, as I got into my teenage years, I was blessed with a grandmother and a stepmother. I would have listened more. I would have stopped thinking I know everything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I go over there. That's where I go. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, now if I were gonna tell the younger me something, and this is what I would have came up with over time. Basically, don't take life so serious. It's not like you're gonna get out alive. Enjoy.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
So, what was the question?
Anybody else?
What would you tell your younger self? I was trying to figure out what the question was.
What, if you could turn back the hands of time, what would you tell the little boy inside of you?
Oh.
Or the little girl inside of you?
If I could turn back the hands into
What would you do to change?
what I would do to change is I would make sure I always carry my spiritual ID.
Oh, okay then.
That's
That was
nice.
nice.
That's nice. Anybody else?
Hold on. Finna keep this knockout down from the left
Wait
hand.
a minute.
You gotta come on with it
Come on,
now.
Mr. James.
Come on.
Go ahead.
Greetings and salutations.
Hello,
Yeah.
sister.
Hey. Man, I would tell myself a whole lot of stuff. So as you made the statement or asked the question, I was thinking a whole lot of things was going through my mind. Because to be honest, at different points in my life, I had different things going on. Because I too lost both my parents at a young age. So I would have finished college the first time instead of going back first about that. I would have chosen a different profession probably because I love helping people and that's where my passion lies. And I would have told myself, you didn't have to marry that man because you got pregnant.
What?
Hello.
Okay, I mean, I got a beautiful daughter out of it, but let's just tell the truth. It is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
And my mama
And-
told me not to.
Okay.
So, I mean, like I said, it was just at different points in my life. I would have told myself different things. I would have tried harder for different relationships than I did. My cutoff game is real strong.
Okay.
So what I mean is, I can like you, and you do something. I ain't got to fool with you no more. Like, it ain't personal, and I ain't got no grudge. I just don't mess with you no more.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, because I believe people in your life for a reason in the season. And sometimes as women, we let people in our life for way too long.
Way
Too
too
much.
long.
And as women, I don't know why we forgive men faster than we forgive other women.
Oh,
But that's a whole
good.
other issue. That's all I got
That's
to
good.
say.
That's
We
really
do.
good.
We do.
Thank you.
Hold on here, Mr. Jason.
There
right
go
here.
Mr. Jason. He brings.
He is bringing the
Come on,
cheer, y'all.
baby. Okay.
Oh, he for real. I thought he was playing. He done got him a.
You didn't
Sabrina,
see me?
we're gonna have to rearrange the
Yeah.
stage.
You sure?
Okay, hold on.
Just don't knock over the
Oh,
wall.
I'm sorry.
No, listen. Okay, can you, let me slide over and then I'll come to the end.
I remember what skinny looked like. I ain't skinny no more, but I remember what skinny feel like. So I'm
Can you
like,
still
Is
see me?
everybody still in?
Yeah, is everybody in?
yeah.
Sorry, y'all, we had a
So
little
the
pause.
question is, if you could turn back the hands of time and speak to the younger boy inside of you, what would you tell him? What would you say?
Two things. Listen and listen.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. There are a couple of things I'm gonna take y'all back. Y'all can take y'all's notepad out if y'all need.
It ain't gonna be that doggone long. Go ahead.
Listen to me, seriously.
We
Because I've been
appreciate
listening to
you.
the
Go
whole
ahead.
dialogue. There are 5 aspects of the mind. Okay? Will, intellect, instinct, memory, creativity.
Sure is.
Okay? That's the 5 aspects of the mind. Okay. Will, intellect, instinct, memory, and creativity. Those are the 5 aspects of the mind.
Yes, it is.
Okay? Now, at all points in time in your conscious and subconscious life, all 5 aspects of your mind are working simultaneously.
Absolutely.
The sign of an insane mind is independently one or more aspects of your mind not working with the others in conjunction. Now, with that being said, you have to understand why the aspects of the mind must work collectively and cooperatively. Okay? Now, stop right there. Footnote. Stop. Make that footnote. If you are a reader, or if you are not a reader, if you are a YouTuber, look up a man named Mohammed Gaudat. He used to be a coder for Google. He's Middle Eastern. He's been in the United States for 10 years. And Mohammed Gaudat, M-O, they call it Mo Gaudat. He's got a book and a series name called The Algorithm of Happiness. Okay? So Mo Gaudat, he had one child, his child named Ali. Ali was 24 years old. On Thanksgiving Day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they started, these people were not normal Thanksgiving people because they didn't grow up here, they were foreigners. So they started taking on United States traditions. And so they started doing Thanksgiving. They were having Thanksgiving at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody was fine. Everybody was healthy. Everybody was happy. They were getting ready to eat. 6 o'clock, Ali was pronounced dead. And the whole family, everybody in there was in a tailspin because they didn't know what happened. Some medical emergency happened. And boom, the boy died. And it was that fast. So, Mo Gaudat's got this whole thing about the algorithm of happiness. How do you add up things in your life, add and subtract things in your life to make sure that you're happy? But the one thing that he said about it, the whole book that made me, that impressed me the most, is that part of your happiness will be determined on what you expect. Okay? If you have unreasonable expectations for what you should be doing in any way, that's when you have to come back to that footnote and check out the 5 aspects to your mind. Your will, your intellect, your instinct, your memory, and your creativity, to understand why you are or are not doing what you should expect yourself, or the position or status you should expect yourself to be in at that point in time. And what are you going to do to change it? So if it's bad marriage, if it's your kids, if it's whatever it is, if you're in a bad business, you got the wrong job, or whatever the case, and then I'm going to say this, and I'm gonna take my nachos back because I'm hungry. Listen, in life, every last one of us in here are going to get exactly no less or no more than what you work for. So if you get up with your wife every morning and you say something funky, you're working for a divorce. If you come to work and you don't do what you're supposed to do, and you steal school supplies for your kids, you're working to get fired. You might be slowly working to get fired, but you get fired. See? Right, that's what that's going to be. So you're going to get exactly, and here's the thing. If whatever vocation or application or assertion that you want requires education or some type of skill or some kind of training, if you do not submit to the education and to whatever toolage that you need to do to get that, do not be surprised when you don't end up at your destination. You will end up at a destination, but you might not end up at the desired destination. You're going somewhere, but you might not end up where you want to be.
That's right.
You know. So and my last comment, I'm gonna say this. Listen, on this microphone, there's a button. Every decision in the world, computers are basically mimicking the mind, human mind. Where everything is a decision, is called binary numeration. It's either on or it's off.
Right.
It's on, it's off. It's a series of ones and zeros. If I want to get up and take a step off the stage, I have to get up, yes. Take a step, yes. Take another step, yes. Take another step, take a step off that stage, yes. If I decide that I'm not going to take any more steps, I might make it off the stage, but I'm just going to make it to the floor, but I'm not going any farther. But I made a series of decisions to get off the stage.
Right.
I might not have made a series of decisions that will take me completely over to the bar. All things that happen in your life, whether they are done to you objectively through your own will and activity, or subjectively from somebody else, are still matters of your own decisions.
That is so true.
Even your mental health.
Thank you, Jason.
She be taking that right fast,
She played that music on me like they do at the award show. You know what I mean? Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
No, thank you so much.
Yes.
And this is Jason and Miss Denise. They're the owners of the Attaché, which they are welcoming us here.
Thank you.
Every Tuesday from 8 to 9, so we appreciate everything that you do. What about last question? Thank you, because that was very insightful. So with all that we have today, all the information, all the trials and error, all the trials and tribulations, all the testimonies and triumphs, how can we use what we learned today and who we are today to help our community today? Go ahead, baby.
Thought you was asking the
No,
audience.
I'm asking everybody. How can we use what we've been through and where we're at to help our community? Because you're nothing if you're just sitting on the information.
Right.
You have to be able to share. You have to be able to service. So, what are we doing today to be a service?
Starting with this dialogue,
That's all I was going to say.
talking about it. Somebody start a conversation that needs to be had. Somebody ring the alarm. You never know. Someone is always, the thing I say, someone is always experiencing things in life worse than you are. And you don't know when a person is going through. A kind word goes a long way. I could have a suit on, a tie on, a fedora hat, walk in the door, and could be about to commit suicide. Pride won't let me say it.
We don't ever want to look like what we're going through.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't never want to do that.
So don't assume how someone look.
That's right.
They're fine. If you have the goods and you know that you are free in your mind, you're working on your body, soul, and spirit. If you know that you have the goods, say something. Open the dialogue. Start the conversation. It's simple. We don't even have to be in this setting. It could be pick the phone up. Using social media for positivity. Not just going on to read drama. What is something positive that, because it can reach the world with one simple word. Just imagine the tool. They didn't have this in the 1900s. They would send telegrams for miles through boats, through horses. But now we have the ability, we're blessed, have the ability to actually say one word and touch millions of people's lives. So it starts within you, and just open your mouth.
And the only statement I'm going to make after that is when they call you, like she said, a phone call, even though we go through things and we have our own, don't be so quickly to hang up
Or
not answer the call. Sometimes they may need you and you may say the right thing to even get them back on their path. Don't be so quick to say, oh, damn, she calling again. Oh, this is the same old thing.
Or we fell out
last week. Or we not getting along. We not seeing eye to eye. No. If that's somebody you love, you care about as a friend, as a family member, or whatever the case may be, while you know this person, don't be so quick to put a person down when they're at their worst. Because you never know the state of mind that they're in. Like she said, she can be suicidal if she walk up looking like another character. You never know, because the state of mind can be very deadly, especially when it comes to stress.
And during the pandemic, we are living in a pandemic right here, a worldwide pandemic where people are losing their jobs. I'm furloughed. They didn't let me go. We have children that's not in school, so they have to, learn at home, and then we have to go back to our school. Like, wait a minute, what was that geometry? What are we doing? But and having COVID, or knowing somebody that has had COVID, or somebody that has died from COVID, the world is changing. It has changed. It's not it's changed. We have to reach out to one another. Are you okay? Not are you, yeah, girl, I'm good. No. Are you truly okay? And that's the question that is today. Are you truly happy? And if you're not truly happy, here's some tools that can help you. And that's what we're going to get to in a second. Hold on.
Yeah, because back to what Sabrina saying, having it. I had it. Me and my 21-year-old daughter. Because I constantly was working. And I can't really detect exactly where I got it from, but I can kind of analyze it. Because I'm very careful about everything I do. I had it back in the end of June, the beginning of May. And I have a pituitary brain tumor with my prediabetes. And I'm 46. I wasn't at my worst, but I'm telling you, it's something you don't want to never have. We had the mild symptoms. My daughter, we never had a fever. We never lost sense of smell. I had body aching. I couldn't get out of bed some days. I didn't want to eat, but I could eat. And then I was just suddenly drained. And us staying in together and going through that together, that made me and my daughter so strong.
Yeah.
That made me and my daughter so strong, because while we was in that, we had family calling, praying on the phone. Because my mother is Pentecostal. So my aunties and uncles are Pentecostal. And all that prayer, even though I didn't want no one to come by, that distancing, that love, and that support in them phone calls, and me praying to God because I know how to pray, it took me there. It made me value, and my 21-year-old daughter, you know what it made her value? Life. Life and respect, that you still have your mother here, when I lost a mother at 12. So it made us bond more and value some things. So my point is, you never know a person worse when they say they need to talk. Let them talk. Whatever you can do for them. It might not be the right words at the right time. They may need you just to hear them.
Thank you. Okay, so to wrap this up, y'all, this has been so great. We're just going to go over 10 things for a successful mental health check, or things that you can do for yourself to, keep yourself balanced. Like you said, balance and check mentally. I put down here, number 1, set boundaries.
That's it.
Learn to say no. What do y'all think?
That's absolutely good.
Okay. 2, create the life you want. So with that being said, hey, have the type of people you want around you to get you through that path, that journey that you want. Create the life you want. It's never a too high to reach.
No.
It's just about the path that you choose to go down to get there.
Right.
And be able to put in the work.
Right.
It's a process. Be able to put in the work.
Right.
Turn your trials. This is 3. Y'all listening to Facebook out there in the world? Hey, world. Turn your trials into teaching.
Teaching.
Okay?
Listening.
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 Okay? Your mistakes do not define you.
No.
Let me repeat that. Your mistakes, I don't care if your mistakes as a parent, with your children, and how they turned out, that does not define you. Do not hold on to that guilt.
It corrects you and make you wise.
It just make you better for your grandkids. I ain't gonna lie. But there's no perfect parenting and there's no perfect
It
kids.
didn't come with a book.
And we didn't read the book, even though it did come with a book. You know what I'm saying? But God gave it to us, but we wasn't in the right place to take in that.
Right.
As long as you're alive, you can reinvent yourself. Know that. As long as you're alive, right now, you don't have to wait until you wait. I'm going to start tomorrow on my exercise. No, you can get on the floor right now and do 5 crunches. You do not have to wait until tomorrow, because guess what? Tomorrow is not promised. Start right now. And guess what? That's going to make you feel better. That's your inner cup that you're feeling.
Not right now. I'm too fine right now.
You too fine right now? She said she's fine right now. Okay, well, I'm getting on the treadmill right now.
I call me tomorrow.
I truly believe that we all want to live our truest and highest level of self. We might not know how to get there, but I believe every human really wants to be their best version of themselves. They just don't have the tools. So that's what we're trying to provide now with these little, notes and self-help. And just listen, just take notes. I'm gonna wait for you to get a piece of paper and pen so you can write this stuff down. Enough. Time is up. Number 4, live your life to the fullest. Okay, so all the things I've been through in life has been, like I said, for my kids, all that kind of stuff. So at this point, I'm 42 years old. I want to travel. I want to live my life. Girl, I'm 42.
How old are you?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
bitch,
you're
we've been
still
around.
good,
No,
though.
we've been around for some years, bitch. We've been around. We've been through stuff.
But live our life. I want to travel. I want to learn more. I want to do more. I want to help more. I want to build more. I want to explore more. And my preference in a man and a husband, he's going to have to be on that same page. It's not about sitting me down and stopping me from doing shows, reaching out to y'all. It's not from doing. He has to accept me for who I am and where I'm going.
Don't come in trying to change.
Don't try to. Don't
grow
try to change
with me.
Don't try to change me.
They go vice versa.
I don't have time to think about it. I'm gone. So I'm already gone. I got my path. That's what I'm saying. Once you create your own path, it has to be somebody along that path, not something behind your path. It has to be somebody that's in the direction you're going.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not going to work. He can't be going left and you going right. And then say, let's work this out. No. I'm just speaking on me. I can't. You ladies?
Yeah, and you can never change. You can never change a
Stubborn man anyway.
Or
Or woman. Or a man that don't even want to grow with you and build with you and balance with you.
That's right.
Just the same thing as a woman. When you know they don't want to do that, then hey, get off the boat. I ain't got no more time to give you, brother.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Either you in this or you out.
Are you out?
One or the other, because we all getting older in life.
That's right.
We have no time to waste. Like she said, the pandemic, this politician going all kind of ways. You know, these presidents they putting the older presidents in there, and they set in their ways, and they doing whatever
You're right.
they think is right, but they're not letting the world ask, what do the world want?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They forgetting to forget about who votes and who made this possible for to be have president.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? You can't forget all that. You gotta balance it out. You gotta have you gotta have sympathy of what another person feels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can't just, I'm just gonna be this way, either they in or out. No, we gotta find some equilibrium.
You gotta compromise. Yeah.
Yes, I do have something I want to say. I want to say that one of the biggest mistakes, besides the stigma of thinking that mental illness that you're crazy, the main thing that we do, talking about me, you, everyone, the main thing that we do is say it's for somebody else. Boy, if my brother would have been here, he just as crazy as he want to be. If my husband was here, he really need to see a counselor, right? If my sister, if my mom was here, she bad. She need to see somebody. And all the time, if you were there, at the time when they talked about mental health and mental illness, it was directed to you. It don't have nothing. You can't take it home and say, you should have been there. You should have. I know you need help. That's going to turn around and throw the whole household into a loop. Do your own work. Do your own work first and allow God to change him when he change him. Or if he change him. Or if he don't change him. But what it does do for you, it makes you see you. Maybe I was a bit hard. Maybe he don't want to do this. Maybe we should be doing this. Maybe I should be a little more humble. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. So do your work first. Don't assume that it's for everybody else. It's for you. Directly for you. Get it in.
Put in the work.
Put in the work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Number 5, demand respect for yourself. The best way to demand respect for yourself is to have respect for yourself. So when you have respect for yourself, then the next person that come around, you can be like, hey, this is my standard right here. I'm showing you who I am. Believe it. And don't try to take me nowhere else. So demand respect for yourself. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody got that? Okay.
Yeah, you got to.
If you don't make the changes, or better yet, if you do not believe a person for who they show you they are, you know what the saying is? Believe who they are. What is it? What's the saying? When they show you who they are, believe them.
it. Yeah, when they
And
show
the
you the
reason,
truth.
the first time.
Yeah,
You
the first
don't
time.
have to wait the
First
third
impression.
time or the 10th time. Believe them the first time. Because they will keep showing you over and over and over, and you're going to keep living through it and going down that pit of hell with them.
Right.
Let me say
Go
something.
ahead.
You know what? On that note, you believe them, but some of us women won't listen.
We're natural nurturers. We want to make it right.
If a
we
man,
can make him
right.
stronger. We can do this.
Yeah.
His mama issues.
Right.
We can help him. His daddy issues. We can help him.
Right.
That's not our job.
Right. If he say,
I'm an MF, he means he's an MF. Okay? You know, I gotta be like, hey, I'm a MF. Yeah, he means that. That's who he is.
right. If he say, I'm not ready to be married right now.
He means that.
That's right.
He means that.
Or relationship.
Or
woman,
relationship.
Or woman.
He
Or
wanted
woman.
entanglement.
If he say it,
Sometimes the entanglement is the preference of we already discussed that.
but our reaction is different. If you say, okay, I've heard it several times. Okay, I'm cool. That's fine. But we allow our emotions. We're not emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
We allow our emotions to get to the best of us. And the first time we have sex, he belonged to us. But the man told you,
That's right.
I'm not ready to be in a relationship, or I'm not ready to be married. What point did you believe? Did you not believe it when he said it? Or you thought your body and everything else could change his mind?
Yeah.
If he said it, you better believe it and respect the man for that.
Yeah, don't be mad.
That's why you also, if you have standards or you have certain things, what we women say is, oh, well, I would have did this. You weren't acting like that when you came over my house. If a man said it, believe him. There's no more that we need to, and you can respect a man for telling the truth. I can respect the truth than a lie any day. Respect that man for the truth. and let him stand in his manhood. If he told you no, he meant no. If he told you we're not going to be able to get this house, or we're not going to be able to go on this vacation, or I don't want kids, girl, don't think you can turn around and get that man a kid. It's going to be you and that baby.
That's right. Well, and that's when, and you know what, not to cut you off, and that's when you got to know how to move.
Yeah.
We as women and men say we want the truth at the table. But once we get the truth at the table, are you able to journey out with me with the truth? Are you able to walk this path with me with the truth? Because I'm clearly stating to you, I'm not ready.
Right.
And they may be ready for many reasons. But if you want to date and play and do whatever you got to do, you got to know how much you're going to put into it once he done laid that down.
Amen.
Because it comes, now it's all on you. It's not on him.
Right.
We
play
can say,
crazy.
oh damn, I set him down last night, girl. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. That ain't all that a man look for in a woman.
Right.
Amen.
That's not all. That's easy.
He can get it every day.
He can get it every day. He needs that lady, that stability, that compromising. He needs some boundaries. And he may have went through, we all go through bad relationships. The problem we don't need to do is take the bad relationship into the new one.
Right.
Because every man didn't do what Charles did 3 months ago.
Amen.
This is a totally different man, like this is a totally different woman. So don't bring your baggages in when you meet someone who finally tells you the truth. You're supposed to understand it. And you're supposed to know how to move with it. If you like the truth, that's some positivity. We're grown, right? We want the truth, right? So when he lay it down, move with it.
Okay,
Hello.
you become what you believe. So if you believe that your sex is on point, guess what you're going to be? A sex addict, a sex whatever, a call girl, whatever it is, because that's what you're using because you believe that that's what's going to have the power. You're using your body for the power. But if you believe that you don't deserve to be happy, guess what's going to happen? You'll never be happy. If you believe that you deserve success, guess what you're going to do? You're going to be successful. You are your belief system. Remember, we talked about that before. So stay on point and remember that. Check yourself. Go ahead, tell what you say. What's that check? Check and balance.
Check and balance.
Check yourself. I believe it's important to touch lives every day. That's why I chose to start doing the preference panel show, is because I wanted to give up myself. I don't know the answers to everything. I'll never know the answers. I don't even want to know the answers to everything, but I do want to be able to bring people to the forefront that know more than me, that can provide tools for you out there in the world. If I can touch you in that way, then I'm doing my job. That is my purpose. That's my purpose in life. And it took me a while to really realize that because I went to school for psychology, dropped out, and always giving counsel to my kids and 8 friends and whatever, always giving counseling. But at the end of the day, and I realized I like helping people. I really, really do, and it makes me feel good. And I just want to give good advice. And like I said, if I don't know the answer, let me find it for you. Let me put you in the right people around me so they can give it to you. So make it a point in your day, every day, to touch somebody, to teach somebody, to love somebody. Every day. Every day. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good, okay? Own your life. I think it's important to own your life. You're accountable for your own life.
Yeah.
Nobody else. You can't blame what your mom and daddy did or whether they were there or not or whatever, what your kids did. It's your life. And that's what preference and the brand of preference is. Live your life.
Yeah.
Live your truth. Whatever your preference is in life, however you want to live your life, live it. Own it.
To the fullest.
To the fullest. Exactly. Anything else? No? Okay, well, we on the road here then, y'all. Live a thankful life. These are things that I have wrote down, and these are things that I actually was watching Oprah, and she was, I'm being honest though, because everybody has to have some type of mentor. And Oprah's my mentor when she guides me in the way to success. I'm I'm gonna just be honest with you. And how to relate to people. Because I've always been relatable. People have always been drawn to me. But to get the right questions asked in the right direction. So one thing she said with this one is, live a life of thankful. Wake up in the morning, because nobody told us we were going to wake up. But God gave us the breath to wake up. He said, wake up. So we should be thankful as soon as we open our eyes. Right? Then when you wake up and you say thankful for, for another day, then guess what? Thankful that I have 10 toes, 10 fingers, 2 lungs. You can go down the list. And when you get that spirit of thankfulness, you don't have that spirit of what? What spirit you don't have is you thankful. Haughtiness. You don't have a greed, a self-entitlement, because you don't have that, because that's not the spirit that lays within you, because you're thankful. So have that inside of you. Be thankful as soon as you wake up and even before you go to bed. Be thankful. Because like you said before, it could be a whole lot worse. And there are people that's going through harder times, and we're praying for you. What do you think is more important in this day with mental illness? What is the hardest thing that you think people are dealing with? Do you think it's self, as far as their failures, their goals, or not having a purpose or whatever, or just what's going on today with the pandemic?
Each individual will measure differently. The way you look at things will determine, far as your mental capacity. What I would say to you is talk to someone. If you feel yourself spiraling out of control, meaning in your mind, just talk to someone. It doesn't hurt to just talk. And as you talk, you will know. Hopefully we brought the awareness to let you know it's okay. We all have bad days.
We do.
But if your bad days start being more than your good days, talk to somebody. Just releasing that in itself will help you. Talk to somebody. Someone that knows more than you in the area so they can help you and not judge you.
Yes.
So that's the main thing. I need to talk to someone that won't judge me. A lot of leaders, people with businesses and businessmen and tycoons, they don't have nobody they could talk to. Right. They have all this money, but no one they can talk to when they are by themselves. Right. So things we see in their life happen, or they take their own life, or they go through a spot of depression because they don't have anyone to simply talk to. Being able to release it and not judge me for it. Right. Not take what I've given you and run with it. So just talk to somebody. It starts with that.
And I also want to say, it's okay to get that divorce. It's okay to file for bankruptcy. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to give up what's not good for you to move forward. Because sometimes we hang on to things that just keep us going in a cycle, and we just don't want to let go. It's okay. It's okay to let go of that furniture set so you can have some money to pay for your rent. Let it go and move forward. It's okay. I just want to give you permission, just in case some people out there need that permission to say it's okay. So,
But you gotta listen when you talk.
When you do talk and let someone talk to you, you gotta be able to accept it and listen. Because what am I talking to you for if you're not listening? If I'm trying to help you, if I'm trying to help guide you in some areas that you wasn't familiar with, are you gonna listen? And sometimes you might not need to take everything that doesn't apply from them to you. You may need to just value out, or take out what applies to me, what works for me, out that conversation that she gave me, And then that's how I'm gonna move. Because everything that a person is giving you in certain conversations, it may not all work for you. But they still giving you the lacking of understanding and wisdom. And an ear. So I'm gonna take just as much of that weight that they give me out their breath that applies to me.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed tonight's discussion with the preference panel about are you truly happy, and the tools that we were able to provide you to hopefully make your day better and give you some type of purpose and direction in life. Please, Mrs. Smith, please tell us about your how to connect with you, anything that you would like to share.
You can connect with me on Facebook, SHAQUEENA. Last name is Smith, SMITH, and that's how you could reach me anytime. If you have questions about mental health, mental illness, feel free to do so.
I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And, you're welcome. Look, she's going to be around for a while. Okay, Miss Melody Young, tell us about yourself and as far as how to contact you.
You can go through Facebook. I'm on there as Melody Young, and I've emailed at youngmelody@rocketmail.com.
And what do we get when we contact you?
It depends on what you're contacting me for. And I'm going to be honest, because I'm a jack of all trades. So it depends on what's the subject title. And, if you want to contact me to talk or about my book dropping, maybe my book can help those women out there, or my play. And the reason why I'm going to play my own role in my own play is because I want to connect with the women. I want to connect with everybody. And my play is very deep. It's something that I actually went through for 20 years. And I know it can relate it to a lot of women out there and men, because mental abuse is worse than physical. Yeah, and I've seen both sides.
Yeah.
I've been through mental after I left physical.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm deep with what I do with my play and what I say, it's a tell-all. And I hope it helped embrace someone who may be going through something, coming out of something, don't know if you should come out of it. I hope it helped somebody.
Thank you for coming, Melody. At the preference panel, you can reach at preference.pf@gmail.com and preference.pf, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Tune in, log in. I got you. I'm here. Thank you, the Attaché Cigar Lounge here in Dallas, Texas, located on Camp Wisdom.
Yes.
Every Tuesday from 8 to 9, you accept us here, and we appreciate you. Y'all come down, eat, drink, and be a part of the audience and be a part of the family. We need your voice, because the voices is what make a difference. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sabrina.